So I just installed the Facebook like button on my website. It's right over there if you want to click it. And the reason I did that is because obviously Facebook has hundreds of millions of users, and I think that more important than Digg, more important than StumbleUpon, more important than a lot of the share this stuff that I've got below my posts, I think the Facebook like button will help to bring more visitors to my website, and will also help people to see when their friends like my website. And I think that's really important. And it got me thinking about the idea of social search. And I think, I'm going to make a prediction here, it's a bold one, that Facebook could, in the next few years, beat Google in the search space. And I know that's a pretty bold claim, and a lot of people laugh at me when I say this, but I believe that they have a shot at this. And if Google doesn't start partnering with them in some way, they might lose in this battle, because the idea of social proof when it comes to recommendation engines and search engines and that type of a thing, it changes the landscape. If I want to search for a roofer to do to come out and quote me on replacing the roof in my house, and I search for, I live in a town called Orangeville, I search for Orangeville roofers, and I find a whole bunch of results, but one of them has a little like button next to it on Facebook and says, your friend Justin likes this roofer. That's the first person I'm going to call, because it's immediately recommended by a friend without me having to call all my friends and say, can you recommend a roofer? Someone's already said this guy's good. The way Google does things now is kind of, backwards. They have to crawl the internet, look at all the websites and how they interrelate to each other and how they link to each other, try and figure out what's garbage and what isn't, and then assess sites based on their link popularity. And the problem with link popularity is that it can be faked, and then every once in a while you'll see these really crappy link arbitrage websites in the Google results set. Well, I'm sure you could argue that you could game Facebook as well, but it's a lot harder, because they're going to look at real profiles, influencer profiles, profiles with hundreds or thousands of friends attached to them that are clearly not spam profiles, and they're going to give them a lot more weight when it comes to how they rank results. So if you think about it, Google has to play catch up every time they run their index, whereas Facebook has all this data in front of them. They can just easily use it to populate their search engine database. So if you've noticed already, if you do a Facebook search, you will find web results interwoven into your people results, and I think that's going to change over time, and I think eventually they may look to opening a search engine. So my advice to you is this. Below this video I've actually put the instructions, or a link to the instructions, for how to put your own Facebook like button on your website. Highly recommend you do this now. It's super simple to put up, and it's really easy for people to click. They don't have to go through any login, they don't have to do anything special, they don't have to leave your website. They click like and they're still watching your video, nothing changes. So put this code up on your website, encourage people to click the like button, and I encourage you to click mine, and watch and see what happens over the next few years. But I think it's really important to be early adopting this thing, and to make sure you've got it on your website or blog.